Hi. So Juno learned how to bark. Hey, you, come here. I might have to be right back. Hey, you, come here. What's this? Come here. What's this? Okay. Hi, I'm back. Juno's learning how to use his voice, which is great. He's so cute and such a little gremlin. So anyway, hi, I'm here. And I wanted to talk with you. I am now, I don't know if you guys can see this. Hold on a second. This is what's happening. Oh, now he stopped. But he was pulling it. Okay, look at how cute he is. How about some serotonin levels? Do you guys need your oxytocin to increase? Puppies. Did you know, this isn't even what the topic is going to be about, but did you know that like when you even like talk to your like talk in like a baby voice, or to like talk to your puppy or to your animals, like that voice, hi Tiff, is it increases oxytocin, which is the like that bonding hormone, and it like creates all of that like ease and connection between like a mother and a baby. That's what oxytocin does, and it does the same thing with animals. And you know, it's like all of that self-talk, and they're always like, oh, talk to yourself like you talk to your best friend. If you talk to yourself like you talk to a puppy or a kitten or your pet, that also has the same effect. So maybe you just pretend that you're a really cute puppy or kitten. Tip for the day. But today I wanted to talk with you about the empath's brain. Even if you don't feel like you're an empath, because I know a lot of people kind of have like an aversion to calling themselves an empath, because it's such a, I don't know, it's becoming a big thing, right? And but there's really only like 20, I think it's like only 20% of us are empaths. But like that's why I use empaths and deep feelers interchangeably. Okay, I'm gonna like let go of this nasty sock now. Hopefully he'll be cool. But what is happening, there's some actual like neuroscience behind it, okay? And so there are two main factors that make our brains and ourselves unique and kind of awesome and kind of different, okay? And so the first thing, and everybody has both of these traits, or, you know, things in their brain, and but the empath and the deep feeler actually has it more heightened, and they're extra sensitive. So the first thing is the mirror neuron system. This is something that we all have, all right, in our brains, and it is a group of cells that is responsible for compassion and empathy and connection, also altruism, and so these cells allow people to mirror emotions, okay? So we could share pain or fear or happiness or anger or giggling, you know, when you have a funny puppy, for instance, okay? And so these cells help us mirror each other, okay? But with an empath or a deep feeler, this mirror neuron system is hyper responsive, okay? And so because of this hyper responsiveness or hyperactivity, we have the ability to connect more deeply with another person, okay? It's super cool. It could also be super tricky. And so it's super cool if you really know how to protect your energy, right? And not absorb everybody else's, which is why having boundaries and a soul care system is so super important, okay? And so, and also it could be really, like I said, tricky if you are connecting deeply with everything and everyone, and it could be very draining as well, all right? And so our sorry, this is all brain science. So like, it's amazing. And also I have to reflect and refer to my notes. Okay. So our energetic sensors, right? Like, just imagine that, like, we have all these like sensors, right? Energetic sensors all over our body. They are on overdrive. Okay. And so we are absorbing even the most subtlest of energies and emotions and vibes. Okay. Sometimes, and for you deep feelers out there, I would love to hear from you. Do you often find that you can feel the other person's feelings even prior to them knowing what their feelings are? I know I do. And sometimes my husband hates it because I'm like, you seem to forget that I know your feelings before you know them. And he's like, no, you're right. So that is because of this hyperactive, and overdriven mirror neuron system. Okay. We are picking up on those subtlest of energies, right? And so here's a fun fact about the mirror neuron system. So, well, here's two fun facts. One, I am obsessed with serial killers and cults. Anybody else? Like, I don't know if it's just because I have a major psychology brain. He's now getting into my plant. And I'm just fascinated by humans that, and like what's going on psychologically that creates a serial killer or creates someone who joins a cult. Hey, come here. My plant is literally like, please put me someplace else. But the second fun fact about the mirror neuron system is that the opposite of an overactive mirror neuron system is an underactive one. And they have found that through research that sociopaths and psychopaths, which are basically the same thing, they're used interchangeably, have a underactive MNS, mirror neuron system. Okay. And when that happens, and sociopaths are known to lack empathy and connection and compassion. So super cool fun fact. Okay. Now he's going over here. So I just got to keep an eye on him. The second really cool thing it's not really the empath's brain, but more of the empath's mind, which is a psychological thing, not an actual functional brain thing, is that there is something called the emotional contagion theory. Okay. And that is a research-backed phenomenon that people pick up the emotions of those around them. Okay. It's like literally like catching someone's feelings. Okay. So people, especially empaths and us deep feelers, who we have a heightened emotional contagion. Okay. And so what's happening with, in general, the emotional contagion is that we're unconsciously mimicking. Okay. I'm going to say this slowly because it's really cool. We're unconsciously mimicking the other person's facial, vocal, and postural, like your posture and stuff, expressions, and they adopt them. Okay. And I've seen this like in traditional therapy clients. Like if I'm, and I'll find that I'm doing it. Like if they cross their legs and are like leaning forward, I'm crossing my legs and leaning forward. Right. And so what is happening is there is that, it's a connection. But when we do this, our body is getting feedback about the expressions that we've taken on, right? Like that physical expression, say, that I just used. And then when sorry, I'm reading this because I'm still like fascinated by it. Okay, so we then feel what the other person is feeling. Okay, and so if somebody is like this and sitting like this, and I start to sit like this also, I'm not only adapting that and creating that emotional contagion, but I'm also taking on the feelings that are underneath it. And when I'm taking that feeling on, it is connecting to my brain. Okay. And so it's like, okay, that person's not safe. So maybe I'm not safe. Right. And so it is a basic survival mechanism, right? That we sympathize and we empathize and ultimately connect with others. Right. So think about that emotional contagion theory. And it doesn't, it's like I use that like the physical one, but like think about like when you're at a wedding and you're crying, right? Because you're touched and you're feeling it and other people are feeling it, right? Or when COVID hit, that's a really good example. All of a sudden it was just this literal emotional contagion of fear that swept the planet. And so so if you're kind of like, okay, I'm okay, and then somebody comes in and they're really nervous or anxious about, COVID back 3 years ago, that's going to create that same effect in you. Okay. And so I have been noodling on the chicken and the egg scenario. And if you've been watching my lives, you've been hearing me noodle about it. So the noodle is kind of like, or the which came first, I should say, is it's in relation to an empath and trauma. Okay. And so it's kind of like which came first. Like, are we more sensitive to trauma? Like, are we an empath because we've experienced trauma, and because of that we have these heightened emotional contagions, and we have these heightened mirror neuron systems where we're taking on the subtleties of other people? Or is it because we were born this way, right? And then all of our big traumas and little traumas are, we experience them with extra sensitivity. And so I would love to hear from you, like, which do you think it is? Like, do you think it's a combination of both, right? Because is it nature, nurture, or nurture, nature? And I have always kind of been in that middle of that debate of, well, I think it's a combination of both, right? And so I would love to hear from you and let me know. Do you think it's the chicken or the egg? Do you think we're empaths and deep feelers because we've experienced trauma? Or do you think we're just more sensitive to it? And again, we're 20% of the population. So does that only mean that 20% of the population had trauma? I don't think so, because in my opinion, I believe we all have trauma. Sorry, my battery was just saying, you only have 20% left. And so, I believe that we all have traumas because we're human, and that's how we're learning and growing on that soul level. And so when you are, one more fun fact. This, going back to, this is what happens. I get like off on a side note and then I'm talking about it. And then I'm like, this is one more thing I wanted to talk about. The that emotional contagion theory is stronger, is heightened when the people are closer or more connected. Okay, so the stronger the bond you have, the more sensitive you are to the other person. So think about any intimate relationship or any sort of parent-child relationship or best friendship or whatever. When you are closer, you are your emotional contagion is going to be heightened, and you're going to feel the feels of the other person on a way stronger level than, some acquaintance that lives down the street from you, right? So that is what I wanted to share with you today. I have 3 spots open for my coaching, which is turning your wounds into wisdom, which is all about diving deep, doing the hypnosis, healing those wounds so that we can reframe, so we could heal primarily, and that you could then turn those wounds into wisdom and find out the lessons and the jewels and the nuggets for you to heal, and so you can move forward on your life path. So I have 3 one-on-one spots available this month. So if you are interested, I believe it's pinned. If not, just drop it in the chat that you're interested in setting up a free 30-minute call, and we could go from there. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I hope you all had a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye.